get started by going down the top five needs for the New York Giants this offseason, Ryan. And we're going to start with offseason need number 5.
I'm going to go with quarterback. It could not be on this list. It could be higher on this list. It really is. Depends on what you think of Daniel Jones. The Giants have lost some faith in him since giving him that 4-year, $160 million extension. That was not a good idea to do. Teams around the league know it wasn't a good idea to do. I think the Giants regret it a little bit. And the reason is because of the injuries, right? I mean, he got 2 more serious injuries last year on top of his injury history before that. He's rehabbing a torn ACL right now. So they say he'll be ready to start week 1, but they on one side of the mouth, on the other side of the mouth, they talk about adding a quarterback. So if you add a free agent veteran journeyman quarterback, that's one thing. I think they'll probably draft a quarterback with one of their first 2 picks. So I'll go quarterback as need number 5, though. You could argue they don't if you believe in Daniel Jones, but I think that they will add at least a quarterback capable of challenging Jones, if not someone who will be handed the job above him eventually.
Offseason need number 4.
This could be number 1. That's how dearth the Giants are talent wise. I'm going wide receiver. They haven't had a guy reach 800 yards receiving in a season since 2018, when that was Odell Beckham. Darius Slayton's a good receiver. He'd be a good number 2 receiver. He's a good deep threat. He's led the team in receiving in 4 of the last 5 years. They just don't throw the ball the way that they don't play modern football. And part of that is the offensive line. Part of that's the quarterback. And part of that is they just don't have that number 1 alpha guy. It's time for them to go get that guy.
Offseason need number 3.
I went with need number 3 as cornerback. Adoree Jackson is a free agent. They have Deonte Banks, last year's first-round pick, who played well as a rookie. But I look opposite Deonte Banks, and I see, I don't know, like Cordell Flott or Trey Hawkins or guys that Joe Shane has drafted that haven't really panned out so far through 1 or 2 years. And look, it takes guys longer than that all the time in this league. But I don't know how you go into this season with that as your plan at quarterback. Man, I don't think they're interested in re-signing Adoree Jackson. I do think they need to have a veteran caliber. And I'm not talking about an off the street. They got away 2 years ago with Fabian Moreau off the street as a starting corner when Adoree played at a really high level. It's a lot to ask Deonte Banks to play at a super high level so your number 2 corner can be a virtual off the street guy. I think you need to find a mid-level free agent to play corner 2 for the Giants.
Now the 2 big needs for the New York Giants. And again, this could, like you said, this could be interchangeable, but the second biggest need for the New York Giants this offseason?
I'd say edge rusher. I mean, they have Kayvon Thibodeaux got 11.5 sacks last year, but if you dive into those numbers, he didn't have a great pass rush win rate. He didn't have a great pressure rate. He got a lot of sacks, which no one's complaining about. It's been the most sacks for a Giant since like Jason Pierre-Paul in 2014. So good. It was a good second season, a promising second season. And I think he'll be better if they have pressure coming off the other edge. Last year, they had guys like Jihad Ward, Tamon Fox, and Isaiah Simmons, Boogie Basham, guys that don't pose really much of a threat. I wouldn't be surprised to see them go after one of the Jets guys, Bryce Huff, in free agency.
All right, here we go with the big one. The most important offseason need for the New York Giants is?
I'm kind of cheating here. I'm going offensive line, like the whole thing. Like, not guard, not right guard, not left guard, the whole thing. Like, essentially, you have left tackle Andrew Thomas, all pro. You have center John Michael Schmitz, was not very good as a rookie, but he's a second-round pick last year. He's going to start. You're invested in him. The other 3 spots are up for grabs, and that includes right tackle, where Evan Neal has been a bust through 2 years, the former number 7 pick in the draft. So, to me, what you do is you sign a left guard, no doubt about it, and then you sign another guy, let's say Michael Onwenu, I think is probably one of their top targets, who has some guard tackle flexibility. and you know that Onwenu is going to start at one spot or the other. And then basically, if Evan Neal is good in training camp, he's the starting right tackle, and Onwenu's the starting right guard. And if Evan Neal is bad, then Onwenu is the starting right tackle, and somebody like Josh Azudu is the starting guard. That's how I see it. You sign a guy with some flexibility who could play either spot, and then it's not a head-to-head battle, but essentially it is between Evan Neal and some of the guards.